So, welcome back, let's see, someone's uploading, so 8, so this is part 9, I guess. It might not be right, but I think, maybe, yeah, part 9. Yeah, last time out, the camera seems to have some limitation for how many minutes of video it can put in one file or something, and it automatically starts a second file. And I'm not going to waste time trying to merge this stuff, so. But anyway, yeah, so I think we're on 9 now, part 9. And I dug up some wood to make these spacers, I think, maybe. Usually for this kind of a job, my first go-to would be like a 1/4-inch ply kind of a thing. But we're actually looking at some bigger thicknesses here. So, yeah, we need a 10 and a 20 millimeter spacer, and the 1/4-inch ply is only clocking at about 5.5. So much for the 1/4-inch ply. Moving right along, went fishing, found a couple things. This is some of the pine left over from guitar number 4. This was clear pine, like bookcase grade lumber that I got in a big box. And this clocks in at 19 millimeters. And I'm thinking that might be close enough for government work for the tree bridge. And this stuff here is a bit of cut off left from a bar or something from doing guitar number 7 version 2.0 with the red oak body. So this is basically a nice, beautiful red oak piece of lumber here. And this one clocks in at like 13 millimeters, and I'm thinking cut it to size for the bridge, and then run it across the electric planer a few times and get it down to 10 millimeters. That's what I'm thinking. So yeah, so this kind of thing would be our bridge spacer, and this kind of thing would be our spacer for our nails. And that might be the way it's going to go. Let's see here. Saddle spacing, saddle notch spacing is right around 50 millimeters. So yeah, I'd only need 50 millimeters back here for the screws, so this whole thing could probably be, or pins I mean, not screws. Yeah, 50 millimeter spread for the pins. So the whole thing would be, maybe 10 millimeters, leave 10 millimeters extra on each side here, so this whole thing could be like 70 millimeters long. And then this guy here, just make it, I don't know, I guess the same length as this bridge. Bridge is just a smidge bigger than the body, actually. But yeah, probably just make the same size as the bridge. If it's got any like rough corners or something, just sand them down a bit. As long as it's got flat faces on the top and bottom, it'll work for support for the bridge. Might put a drop a CA glue on either side and just make it all one big giant assembly, floating bridge. But yeah, I think that's going to be the approach. What do I say here? 70 mil wide. My X-ray specs keep trying to fall off of me here. 60. That looks like it's a 60 mil bridge. No, it's about a 52, 53, something like that. I don't know. I'll get up and close personal with it later on my own time. So yeah, looks like I'm gonna mark and measure out some stuff here, and it's time to cut. Be right back. Just occurred to me, I don't think I want to glue the bridge to the bottom piece and make it one assembly, because when you put this under tension, this thing's probably going to bend up a little bit, one time only. In which case you're going to want to drop the bridge down, so you're going to want to be able to take this out and put in something thinner. I was almost considering maybe taking just a 5mm shim kind of thing and putting it in, and then just jacking the heck out of the screws, and then waiting for the body to bend, and then I could lower the screws back down. So, I don't know. Is there enough room to do that? I mean, I got all kinds of spacers in that general size, at least. I could do it temporarily. I've even got something in purple, I think, all stained and ready to go. Look real sweet, actually, probably. Got the right size and everything. Okay, so if instead of putting in a 10, we put in about a 5, and then we jack the screws 5, do we have 5 on the screws to jack? And the screws have theoretically almost 10 to jack, so yeah, we can take that approach. Let's try that approach. That way we don't have to fab anything. We don't have to deal with anything. All we gotta do is just grab a part that's already made. Hold on. Panels and spacers to the rescue. Maybe. What do we got? Yeah, this kind of thing I'm thinking of. This kind of thing right here. This is 5. It's almost 5. Might be only be 4. Let's see what we got. Three says it's 5. Alright, so there's 5. I'm going to bring these guys up about 5. Who dat? Spider Max. It's one of the two. Might be doing my math wrong here. This might not get me my 30. This might get me my 30. That might get me my 30. That's pretty close. 30 be about there. Okay, that's cool. That's within adjustable range. Something around there ought to be great. Get back up there, you. There's my line. About that much spacer. Bridge jacked up. Once it gets under tension and gets all loaded up, starts bending on me, then I can lower the bridge back down and everything might just work out. Alright, so that leaves this one. Now, see if I can pull anything else out from the bag of tricks. Now that I know the height, I'm looking for a 20 millimeter. It's kind of cool. What is this thing? Oh, it's only 15. No fun. That was kind of cool. Need 20, huh? This is almost 20. Hell, why does it have to be 60? These are what, 53 or 4, 52, something like that. So 62, 72, oh, hold on. I'll put 10 on that side. And that brings it up a little over 60, so maybe we should go to 80 for the width. Yeah, 80 definitely be safe. Alright, we'll go 80 millimeters for the width on this thing. 80, oh, that's wide. We need something wide. There we go. This is 76, so this is about the right width and about the right height, actually. It's just a little bit bigger this way than needed. Let's see what else I got. That's a little on the short side. I'm not seeing a whole heck of a lot else. We got this thing, and then you could put something over top of it, maybe. Handy and useful size. Of course, this isn't that. None of this stuff is necessarily finished in purple. It would have to be like sanded and stuff, so. Should be about the right size though. And it's just about 20. 20 by 80. And all we really need is, actually, wait a second, I've got another bag of stuff. Got a bag of bridges, including like tall fabricated bridges that just might fit the bill. Let me check that. I'll be right back. Very first thing I pull out of the bag of bridges is a 20 millimeter tall, 80 centimeter wide bridge. Yeah, just knocked the nail off that thing, and we're in the house. Cool. Yeah, I mean, it's like, it's unfinished. It's ready for staining and everything. Totally unfinished. Looks to be, well, it might have like one coat of lacquer on it or something. something. It's probably got. It's not like me to leave something totally unfinished. So, but you know, hit it with some 60 grit, and it should be stained great again. Yeah. So I think this will work. Yeah, it should work. Once you knock that off and then sand it down, it should be clean enough. So that's going to be that part. For this part, okay, well that's going to work. And that will also takes into account the fact that it's probably going to do some of this kind of thing. And the action's going to raise, and that gives us lots of adjustment for dropping the action back down. So that's actually a good plan, but it doesn't necessarily fit that great. Let me think. I could go something in that thickness and just the same size as the bridge. I mean, that wouldn't be that hard or anything. The wood's right just off screen here above us, off camera. It's that piece of wood that I tossed down earlier that's the same thickness, so I could just do that. Maybe I'll just do that. Yeah, it might look a little better. Let me go ahead and do that. Okay. Looks like the next smallest piece that I can take out of this is going to be here, actually. Kind of a thing. So that should be good enough. Can you see those? Right there. Yeah, so that's one end. That's the other end. Right there. Yeah, so cut all that out. I'll be back. Yeah. Coping saw, obviously. Okay, lines are darkened up and extended out, ready to cut. Yeah. Here's my saw. Be right back. There it is. Right at the limits of the length of piece of work that a coping saw can cut, actually. That's just about it. Yeah, if you look at the saw and you look at this thing, it's just about as long a piece or deep a cut, as long a cut as he can make with the coping saw. I was actually doing it diagonally, so I had a little bit more room. But yeah, so there it is. Let me run some 60 grit over it right quick, clean up the edges, and I'll be right back. Yeah, so just a bit of 60. Just gonna run over it like this. That will get these two edges, this face. Yeah, that's looking okay. There's a nick in there from, I don't know, some previous work or something. You put that side down, right? You put that side against the bridge or you put it against the body. Either way, it's not going to show. Unless there's something on the edge. And then there's only a little bit on the edge, so you have that face towards the pin side, and then it's harder to spot. This side doesn't seem to be exactly a perfectly straight cut. And bowed right in there. A little sanding kind of even up. You can see a curve there maybe. Just a little curve right in there, but should do. Alright, get these edges. Edge. It's fairly smooth. Get this edge. Okay, all that's feeling smooth, and now it's just the ends. All nice and rounded. What I'm doing here is I'm rotating the stick and then changing the angle as I rotate it. And all nice and rounded. Pretty much everywhere. Alright, I think that'll do. Yep, feels all smooth and everything. So let's see, this guy's going here. The bridge guy, there's the bridge. This guy's going here. String tension's going to hold it all into place. This guy's going on here. That looks like a bridge. Then here's our pin thing. Here's our pin thing. Let me see if I can knock this off. That was easy. Yeah, it came right off. Feels relatively flat. Give my 60 here again. Just have that for a second. What do we got? It's not super pretty, but it's from the super glue. But yeah, it's relatively flat and smooth now, so might be ready to be used. I want to try to sand it down more. Wonder if it's got some kind of finish on it or not. Maybe I should take the grinder to it. Maybe I should run across the planer. it's feeling clear. It feels awfully, feels like fat wood, Georgia fat wood, like almost saturated with oils. Maybe this had an oil finish on it. Because it also smells something. This might be finished with tongue, or yeah, it might be tongue or linseed, something in that nature. Actually, it might be tongue. Yeah, which means it's probably not going to take stain. No fun. No fun. I want stain grade wood. Yeah, I think we're going to have to clear this to be already pre-sealed and not of stain grade, even though it is pretty, isn't it? Definitely pretty. But yeah, this stuff feels like Georgia fat wood, and I think it's been finished with tongue oil or something. So I guess I'm going to have to set it aside. Unless I want a natural looking pin bridge on an otherwise purple stained guitar, which probably is not appropriate. But I basically need something like this. So I guess I'm back here. Back to that. Where was I at on the width? It's like the third time I measured it. Maybe I'll write it down this time. Save myself measuring a fourth time. Okay, I've almost got to memorize this. What, a 55mm bridge? Saddle to saddle. I mean, 1 to 6 string spacing. 0 to 52. Something like that. Right, so we were taking 52, rounding it up to 60, and then adding 10 to either end, so we were making it an 80. So, 20 mil pin spacer. 80 wide. 20 tall, and let's see, if this thing goes here, is that going to be too wide of a block? Probably not. It's probably okay. Start with that, see how it goes, I guess. So, yeah. Start with that, see how it goes. So basically hack off 80mm of this stuff. And that's going to be that part. Run with that, and the bridge jacked up. Jacked up. And then when this thing bends, I'm sure it'll bend a little, and you can lower the bridge back down. Might get away without having to put any shims in it. So, okay, so next thing is this thing needs 80mm. This looks big enough to use a real saw on. Let's mark it out. So we don't want this messed up cut off piece. Mark it off. Yeah, marked off. And come down 80. But yeah, you get the idea. I'm gonna cut off an 80mm long hunk of this thing. I'll be back. Okay. There it is. That's the basic thing. I'm going to sand a bit. Okay, I made a series of markers around the edge here that allow me to line it up with these lines here. gluing. I'm going to go ahead and glue that down. So I'm thinking just a couple drops of CA glue here ought to be good enough, and then I can remove it easily if I need to. Alright, little baby one. Little blackies here. How's my little baby one? There's my baby. Playing with my strings. Alright, then a moment set up. Stuff's kind of porous, so it'll take a minute. Okay, now this thing, I'm going to put a drop on. Maybe we'll put a drop on. Just a drop. Camera catching that? Yeah, cool. And we want our cut side to go up. Fluff. Okay, all that stuff's set up for a second. It's just yeah, it's starting to set up. That's where my center line is. Okay, what it is what it is. As my manager at Boston Market used to say, what it is what it is. They complain about the inefficiencies in the restaurant that we weren't allowed to improve because of corporate mandates. Still needs a minute. Okay, let's see what's going to be next. So this is going to be dry. Once this is dry, I can go ahead and put the pins in it, which means we need to get the spacing. And we're going to be at time for the real final measuring here. So well, we're sort of sort of actually at 52. Let's call it 52. Alright, let me get a piece of paper and figure this out. It's 52 millimeters from the number 1 to the number 6 string. What's the distance between each one? This is 52. I come up with, I think 10.4. Yeah, 10.4 millimeters between them. So, guess I could go 10. Let's see, if I went 10, that'd give me 50 spacing. If I went 11, that'd give me 66. When it's 2 millimeters narrow. Plus you've got the wheels, which are about 2 millimeters in diameter, so that's going to throw the string off to the inside another millimeter or so, which would make it more like 4 millimeters narrow. And then the other way at 11, you've got a spacing of 55, which is 3 wide, but you got 2 millimeters coming off, one for the inside of each wheel. So then you're only 1, so we're going to go to 11, I think. Okay. Or maybe we go 10 between the two centers and 11 to all the rest, because it makes it easier to split the difference in measuring stuff. Either way, I'm probably going to need a sharper pencil or something. Maybe an X-Acto knife to mark this out. So, here's our center. Okay. Going this way. Tree line. The center line. Then we want to go 5 either side here. I look lackey. 11. That looks a little wide. Let's see to be sure. Okay. 6-pin holes. Like it. I do leave. Twice cut once, right? Okay, 5, 5, 11. All right. There we go. Works for me. Works for me. If we're off by half a mil, we're off by half a mil. This is a guitar, this is not a race motor. Things do not need to be done to the 10,000th of an inch. Okay, so that's our spot. Let me see, what's going to be my approach? Do I want to just nail these in, or do I want to drill and glue? Let's be slick and drill and glue. So first we need to scratch all. Mark these guys off. Rather soft wood, tends easily. Okay. Now, need a drill. Bit. Bits. that's actually cooperating, gently cooperating. A bit of tape. 10 millimeters on the bit. There we go, 10 millimeters on the bit. And I'm on Sprocket Swing V drill.